keep God first. I see evil when I converse.
What is going on, you sexy bitches? Welcome back to the Rantin Review here at webchannel24.com for YouTube. I am Rassslin Rantin, a 30-plus year fan of pro wrestling and sports entertainment, which just means I've been watching it way too long, but I do enjoy the genre. And we are talking today about the year in review 2020, the best of pro wrestling in the year 2020, a very crappy year. But we are going to be talking about the Wrestler of the Year, which is always a very controversial topic. A lot of people say, why should you be Wrestler of the Year? Why is there a number one? Well, I could go into a whole thing about the Pareto distribution and bell charts and everything else, but typically there's that bell chart that tells you that there's that 1% and it exists in everything. There's always that elite at the end of the bell curve that does all the good stuff, that has all the accolades and everything, that excels above everybody else, whether it's the tallest tree, the king lion, or the pride of the lion, whatever it is. There's always the number one. There's always the one at the top. That's just the way universe and reality works. So if you can get over that, definitely check this out. But I can tell you one thing that will definitely help you get over that. If you give a V trigger to the like button, definitely hit that thing right in the side of the head. Smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button as well while you're at it so you can get updates from my channel as we go along. Wrestler of the Year was a bit difficult this year because you could base it off of a bunch of different criteria. It wasn't just match quality this year because there was a lot that had to be taken in consideration because of the pandemic. So this list is probably going to include some people that you might be surprised that I'm including on here. And let's start with the one who's on this list for me as far as WWE is concerned. I gotta put Roman Reigns at least as an honorable mention on here, man. I mean, again, I think me and a lot of other people have been waiting for this for a while. We've said for a while that if Roman went heel, he would probably be a lot better off. And yeah, Roman Reigns, he definitely killed it this year. His heel turn did really, really good. There were some dramatic matches he had with Jey Uso. The match he had at Survivor Series with Drew McIntyre, champion versus champion, was absolutely fantastic. I have no complaints about it. He had a pretty decent TLC match with Kevin Owens last weekend. So Roman Reigns is definitely one of the best wrestlers in WWE this year. I'd also say Drew McIntyre was on that list. I would put Edge in his brief return in and out of the ring on that list. Sasha Banks definitely belongs on that list as well as far as one of the best wrestlers in WWE this year. But I do think overall I'm going to have to give this one to Randy Orton. And it's as a total package thing because while maybe he didn't have the best in-ring match this year for WWE, I think all around as a performer, and that's what WWE is all entertainment and less on the wrestling. I think Randy Orton killed it. I probably shouldn't say killed it given what just happened to Bray Wyatt and to Alexa Bliss, but Randy Orton burned it down. Randy Orton was very good this year in WWE in his return to nasty, dirty, crappy heel, some really solid promos, and he had some really damn good matches this year. So as far as WWE is concerned, my Wrestler of the Year for them would be the Viper, Randy Orton. NXT, that was a harder one to pick because, you know, while you have the traditional picks of Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, some of the new guys that came in, Damian Priest, and of course Adam Cole, Bay. I didn't think anybody in the men's division or the women's division really stood out. And now, Io Shirai is definitely on my short list for this. I'm going to also include NXT UK. I mean, can we not? I have not mentioned it yet on these year-end things, but the Dragunov-Walter match. How can you not put Walter on this list as a potential NXT best of the year wrestler? I definitely think he belongs on it. I can't put Pat McAfee on here because he's not a full-time wrestler, but I do think, again, as I said in the prior video, Adam Cole called that match, and I think Adam Cole is very underappreciated for his ring generalship. It's part of the reason why his matches with Gargano a year or two ago were really, really good. A lot of his matches have been really good in NXT. He had really great matches before. I remember the match with Christopher Daniels a couple years ago in Ring of Honor, where Daniels finally won the championship. That was a great match. Tons of stuff that he has done all over the place throughout his career. Adam Cole, hopefully will. I don't know what's going to happen if he ever goes up to the main roster, but I'm going to go with him as my Wrestler of the Year. I'm sure other people have other opinions on that, but I will definitely take Adam Cole as my Wrestler of the Year for NXT. All Elite Wrestling, that was another hard one. You could immediately think of Jon Moxley since he was AEW World Champion for the majority of the year. His title reign was kind of up and down. It didn't really light the world on fire, but I also admire the work that he put into it, and he made every title match try to mean something. So I definitely cannot short him for the effort involved in dealing with, the tough thing of not having a crowd, which a guy like Moxley does definitely feed off crowd response a lot for his style. I would say MJF as a character would be on that short list too. You got a couple other people. Ray Phoenix as far as performance is concerned. Orange Cassidy as far as a guy coming up and being a breakout star. But ultimately, and this is going to be kind of weird to say, but I'm going to say it is sleeper hit. People are going to hate me for this one. I'm going to go with the current AEW champion, Kenny Omega. I know people are going to hate this, but Kenny Omega is going to be my Wrestler of the Year for AEW. Not only because he won the championship and him and Don Callis are doing this whole weird crossover thing with Impact Wrestling, but all the stuff before that. Kenny took a back seat and let the main event scene for the World Championship kind of, work itself out with Moxley doing his thing, Jericho coming into the year as a champion, Omega winning the tag team division, which he's teamed with Kota Ibushi. He's done tag teams before, but him with Hangman Page became a damn good tag team, so he proved he could do that too. He proved he could brawl again in some brawling matches he had this year. He had the Iron Man match with Pac earlier in the year. And again, as I mentioned, the Young Bucks and him and Hangman having that epic match at Revolution. And not only that, he had killer matches down in Mexico too. I did finally see the Triple Mania match. My God. In fact, some of his better, one could argue that his best match of the year might have actually not been in AEW. So I'm going to go the revitalized cleaner, Kenny Omega, as being Wrestler of the Year in AEW. I know I can already see the comments in my mind's eye and know that there's going to be a lot of conjecture over that one. But again, this is an open forum. It's just my opinion. So if you have a wrestler in AEW that you thought was better than Omega this year, definitely let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Finally, my favorite, New Japan Pro Wrestling, the bastion of some of the best wrestlers in the world, pound for pound, everything being equal. It is New Japan Pro Wrestling. And even with 3 months off this year, they still had some of the best wrestlers and some of the best wrestling matches in the world. Not as much as usual. Unfortunately, I thought as this year started, given the performance that he put in at Wrestle Kingdom and the title defense he had against Kenta at New Beginning, that this year was shaping up to be Tetsuya Naito's year to be Wrestler of the Year. He definitely was MVP for Japanese wrestling as a whole. I think he did win that award from Tokyo Sports. But I can't say that he was Wrestler of the Year, and I think that's got a lot more to do with not only just the pandemic, but the booking him and Evil 3 or 4 times for the championship match. Those matches, except for the last one at Power Struggle, most of them really didn't hit and resonate with anybody. It's no fault of his own. I mean, it's one of those things. It's, New Japan gets stuff wrong sometimes. So they get stuff wrong often, but this was kind of a doozy. I think they really could have done a lot better with Naito's title run. Even with him losing the title and getting it back from Evil, I think they could have done a lot more with it this year. Evil definitely not on the list. Sonata kind of crapped the bed on the G1 finals. Kota Ibushi had a pretty damn good year, so I could definitely give him that. Will Ospreay had a pretty damn decent year as well, taking the big turn, turning heel. Okada had a down year, wasn't that great. And Tanahashi, they're doing this whole, is it time for him to, kind of to fade down the card into the mid card and maybe even down to the opening matches along with Tenzan and all the other old timers in New Japan. Only time will tell with that one. Jay White was very cunning this year. A lot of the guys on NJPW Strong over here in the States did some really amazing stuff this year. But overall, I'm going to have to say the Wrestler of the Year for me, from New Japan Pro Wrestling, is going to be Hiromu Takahashi. Hiromu, I mean, I know it seems like eons ago, but that match he had with Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom was amazing. He got to be the guy to retire Jushin Thunder Liger in a very emotional night, a very emotional couple of nights. He then goes into the New Japan Cup as a junior career, which usually doesn't happen. He kills it in the New Japan Cup, has a great match with Okada, had a decent match with a lot of people in the New Japan Cup, got an IWGP Championship match against the double champion Evil, and actually turned out one of Evil's better matches of this year. Then he goes on, Best of the Super Juniors, he kills it there. I mean, he did suffer the loss of Taiji Ishimori. He did have a bit of an injury over the summertime that slowed him down a little bit. But ending the year with this outstanding match against El Desperado in the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors. My wrestler of the year in 2020 for New Japan Pro Wrestling is Hiromu Takahashi, the ticking time bomb. And we're so glad to have him back. Because again, remember, only a couple years ago, a lot of people didn't think thought that guy's career was over with that broken neck that he suffered in 2017. So Hiromu's back in 2020. Even the pandemic couldn't stop him. He had one of the best years. I know some people are going to say Yoshihashi. No. But yes, Hiromu Takahashi, Wrestler of the Year. My overall Wrestler of the Year probably would be Hiromu too. I think out of all the ones with Orton, I think Orton would be a close second. But I think Hiromu overall, comparing him to Randy Orton, comparing him to Adam Cole, and comparing him to Kenny Omega, I think that Hiromu had the best year out of those four guys. So, but again, that's just my list. I want to know what you guys think. Let your voice be heard in the comment box below. Who is your best wrestler of 2020 in the Best of 2020 countdown here? Maybe it's somebody that's not on my list. Maybe it's somebody from a different company entirely. I don't know. It's your opinion. So let your voice be heard. Until then, always check out the stuff that I got for you guys down there in the description box. There's a lot of free stuff down there in the description if you want to check it out. One of them, of course, is a 30-day free trial to Audible. You can pick up a free trial and listen to the Killing the Business ebook from the Young Bucks, or the audiobook from the Young Bucks, or Chris Charlton's Eggshells books, or the number of other wrestling books that are all over Amazon. Again, it's a 30-day free trial. If you're not a big reader, audiobooks are a good way to go, so definitely take advantage of it as long as that deal is available. Again, by looking in the description and clicking on that affiliate link. Until next time, I will see you guys pretty soon for more news, rumors, and reviews as we close out the year 2020. Best of 2020 here on Rantin Review. Have a good day.
I see evil when I converse. Not today, say. This how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns.